6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
There you are. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah, ooh, ooh. Probably should start off the podcast with a quick apology. Been making them now for 4 straight years. Why bother stopping now? Just give it a go. Need to apologize to Lachlan Cross and the city of Edmonton. Not that they're waiting on me for this weekend's festivities, but I do need to apologize to you, Lach. I am not coming to the Friends and Neighbors Shindig
together
this weekend.
Again.
Right. Edmonton's having a big concert, and it's called Together Again, Here We Go, or something like that.
It's Together Again concert series, and there's a bunch of them. Like, they've been doing them all summer. Yeah. It's actually been awesome.
Yeah. And I was excited to go. Danko Jones, Our Lady Peace, I'm Mother Earth, a bunch of other bands.
Did you buy a ticket?
Yeah, I did. Yep. Got a ticket on WestJet. I was supposed to land in Edmonton Saturday morning. No, seriously, Saturday morning at
Calgary. You were supposed to go to Calgary because you were driving back.
No. I was going to do that, and then you told me you were going to be Deb was going to be driving home from Calgary because you were going to be hungover because you were going to a party of a friend of yours that's moving out west.
It's amazing.
Yeah. That's when you know you're a wheel. That's when you know you love the booze, is when you plan your hangover. But listen, I wanted to come out. Exactly. Do I want to drive back with your wife driving the car, me in the back seat, you in the front, hungover? Not specifically.
No,
but that's not. But that's not.
I would have put you in the front, and I would have just passed out in the back with the dog.
That's not why I'm not going. I've got a meeting. Wanted to go to Edmonton. Wanted to see Danko Jones. Wanted to see Rain and the guys in Our Lady Peace. Wanted to see the guys. Well, I'm Mother Earth, maybe not so much. But I wanted to see you, and I can't make it this weekend because I've got like a whole bunch of shit going on. So I'm sorry, and I'm really excited for you to go and get drunk with other people this weekend.
It's funny because that's a true story. What happened on the show this morning? I called Dean and Bonzi and Army Chris, which is a friend of mine locally, and we chatted about this whole weekend, and Dean bailing on me. But right before I found out that Dean was bailing, my wife had told me, you need to cancel Dean's stay at the house because we're having work done and the bathroom is going to be out of commission all weekend long, which I didn't know until yesterday. Right. And then, so I was at the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck, I got to find a spot for Dean to stay. So I was going to pawn him off on a friend of mine. Not feeling great about it, but it was something that I knew needed to happen based on the fact that we have one bathroom left in the whole house. And it's a full house. There's boyfriends and kids and it was just going to be chaos. So Bonzi jumps on the ticket, and he's trying to make his way up here to go to the show in Dean's stead. So I was like,
he's watching now, and he just sent us a text, hope the hell to make it. I'm still working on it, which in my mind means he's not working on it at all, but that's okay.
No. I believe Bonzi. I got on the phone with him yesterday and told him, like, I was honest with him about the whole situation. So, yeah, I legitimately dropped the news on Army Chris that Bonzi might be staying with him this weekend. Now, Army Chris drinks, and I am not kidding, no word of a lie, between 15 and 25 beer a day, and has been going hard now since the early 90s. Okay?
Yeah.
Here's
the back of his truck. He sent me that picture.
50 years old.
Of his truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's an Army veteran. God bless him. Served the country.
Yeah. But did a couple of tours in Afghanistan. Yeah.
Yep. He sent that to me. He sent that to me and or to us in that group chat. And that lasted him 3 fucking weeks.
Yes, no, we're not kidding about. He drinks 20 beer a day, probably on average, and that's 7 days a week. He doesn't take days off.
How the fuck can anyone do that?
He's very good at it. Wow. Not only that, he smokes. he smokes reservation cigarettes. Right? He's got a hookup, so he gets the res cigarettes. He actually, anybody in Edmonton needs menthols, he sells them. Just drop me a line on social media.
That was the best plug yet.
I also
I'm
have
standing on the corner of Crenshaw and 5th.
That's right. I got a pack of menthols, everybody.
Well, he sells them by the carton. I also have a stolen meat guy, just in case you need meat for a bargain.
I'm good. I'm good. I like to pay for mine because I know where it comes from.
Is that code?
I know it wasn't transported in a hot van.
No, they rob transport trucks and then they sell it to people. And I got a guy, and he'll bring it to you.
Do they have a last name like me?
He'll bring it to
All
you.
Of this is so true, right?
So the
I've got
thing
a wood
was,
guy
is
too. Anybody needs plywood?
Sure. Yeah, I'm good.
I live in the forest.
I have a guy in my phone called Plywood Guy.
Oh, plywood.
But I can't come this weekend, and Bonzi's supposed to go, and I don't think it's a great idea that he hooks up because he's like, what, a week? He's been going to AA meetings. I was on his podcast last night. So we're on the phone with fucking Locke this morning on his radio station, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton. And you know what Bonzi says? Last night he's crying on this podcast. He's like, I'm really happy that I'm sober. I'm going to crush it. I'm never drinking again. I swear to God, I feel like the best I've ever felt. I'm working out, run 5K. I have a dog. I'm trying to get hookers for $40. It's the best. I love my life. So that was the whole podcast last night. It was about wellness. It was about happiness. It was about health. He was so excited for the journey. Literally 3 minutes into the fucking radio bit with Lachlan this morning, he finds out that Greg might be staying with Army Chris, who's an extreme alcoholic. Yeah. And this is what Bonzi says. Maybe put it on the shelf for the weekend.
Maybe I'll take a weekend off. And Dean's comment was,
rushing it.
I wrote it down. Probably a great idea. Put your alcoholism on hold for a weekend.
Prioritize it, actually. Come on, alcoholism.
And then people are sensitive. People are sensitive about the alcoholism thing and AA, and they feel for people because maybe they know somebody or they're going through something similar or have in the past, and they realize how difficult sobriety is. So then the texts start coming in. You can't let Bonzi stay with Army Chris, Locke. I'll put him up. He can stay here. There's no booze here. We don't have a problem. Like, I swear to God, people were like, it was either you can't send you fucking idiots. You can't send Bonzi to fucking Army Chris's place. Or it was, dude, I'll come get him. I'll pick him up. I'll make sure he's good. Right? Like, people are so funny. And the whole time I'm like, I don't like Bonzi's his own person. If he wants to come and hang out with Army Chris and Army Chris is pounding booze, if he can get through a weekend watching that, he might be good to go, right?
Yeah, you don't want to throw him to the wolves already. The great part is people like Wade are offering, hey, I've offered Bonzi a safe place
Wade
to
was
stay.
one of the texts. Wade was
my God.
This is not a good idea, Locke. Let me take Bonzi in.
Something similar happened to me once when I was like, I was doing coke for like a month, like every day. And I was like, I got to get out of here. And at that point, someone called me and was like, why don't you come to Miami? And I should have known as soon as they said Miami. So I was like telling him, I'm like, I don't know, man, this and that. And he's like, no, man, like, it's been fine. Like, I've been like not drinking or anything, not doing drugs. Just come on down. And I'm like, okay. So I get there and he's like, he leaves that day for 2 days. And while he's gone, he's like, my buddy's going to come over with his girlfriend, one of her friends. You guys can chill. And that person came over and just threw down like an ounce of blow on the table. And I'm just like, fuck you.
Here I go
It's going to
again.
be great. You're going to be fine, James. It's going to be great. Anyways, I didn't sleep for 3 days. So.
Oh, good for you. You went full Sam Kinison when you went down there.
I probably did like a
bender.
half gram and 2 lines in each nostril and then went, when is it Tuesday? Oh, now, like.
So Army Chris's comment was funny too. He was like, this is kind of cool. I don't think I've ever met anybody that doesn't drink.
Yeah, he did. He was like, guy, I don't even have one friend who's not an alcoholic, so this is going to be fun for me. It's like going to the zoo for an alcoholic, having a guy over that's trying to stop drinking. It's fucking unbelievable. And the crazy part was, Bonzi's chimed in. Look at him. He's like, LOL, it was for the bit. I can do it sober. He said, fuck. Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Send him down to Chris's house. Let's see if he's a man of his word.
No one's going to pour booze down his throat. But
Chris would.
Here's the
No,
thing.
I don't think so.
Here's the thing. Is that what Bonzi doesn't understand? And I think what everybody who called you to offer him a safe space to go and stay
They all
during
know.
a rock show, it's exactly right. Like he's got to do it. Like his whole thing is Bonzi's got to fucking, if he doesn't want to drink, doesn't drink. Like it's literally the only thing that you have to do in one day. And I explain that to him, and I tell guys like that I work with, I'm like, dude, you can do anything else. Just don't drink today.
Do you think it was a wrong thing that we've sort of accepted that it's Alcohol Anonymous, and then what's the second place solution again? Oh, we don't know. Maybe it doesn't fit everyone. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's not a good fit for like people who are addicted to alcohol. That doesn't necessarily mean that AA is the solution for them. Maybe Bonzi's that candidate. I'm only saying this because I was that guy. I went to AA for like a few meetings. I was uncomfortable, not because of the content of the story, but because of like, I didn't feel as like, downtrodden as the people around me. I kind of felt like I was intruding a little bit. And then the Lord's Prayer happened, and then the higher power stuff. And I was like, the same for me. And then, and I was able to just handle it my own way, Yeah. Like I'm not, but I couldn't get past that. I couldn't get past
that.
Hi,
I'm James. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think if you get to the point where Bonzi's at right now, and I'm not speaking for Bonzi, I'm just basing this on people that I've known in the past that have tried to like get themselves out of a hole that they're in. If you get to a point, whether you use AA or you cold turkey or whatever it is you do, if you get to a point where you're ready to start accepting some help, right? Then I think it doesn't matter if it's AA or whatever the solution is. And if you decide that AA isn't for you, there are probably elements of it that you can take away from that conversation that might help you, stay sober, right? Mm-hmm. Flying to Edmonton to hang out with the locker room and a raging fucking drunk that fought a couple of years in Afghanistan.
You could have stopped at flying to Edmonton.
Might not be like you're not giving yourself the best chance of success.
No,
right?
Flying to Edmonton.
No. And I know guys that have been in the program too, guys that are like, I got to quit drinking as my family. They're telling me to quit drinking, and they get into the program. And they're like, yeah, when do I graduate? And when is this over? And I'm like, graduate? Explain graduate to me. Because there's no graduation. These are steps on how you should live. Like literally, and I said this to Bonzi on the show last night. If you go to AA, and I haven't been for a couple of years because I'm into other shit now, like philosophy, stoicism, wellness. I psychoanalyze myself too much. I'm into neuroscience. I'm into like literally commanding my brain. And I realized that all that stuff was just the branch of a tree that was trying to grow that was fucking going off in the wrong direction, right? So, but when you're in the program, they go, "Oh, you got to keep coming back to the meetings. Keep coming back." That's what they keep telling you. And a lot of people need it, right?
Yeah,
dude. I've been in these meetings where you're literally like, and I haven't been for a long time, but let's say I had a year and a half in where I hadn't drank and I was going to meetings and I was enjoying it. And I've been in meetings where they're like people that are white knuckling it for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to come today. I haven't had a drink in 40 years. Like I've almost stopped for booze today. And I'm like, what? Like that continues for 40 fucking years? And then I got depressed. I'm like, well, fuck it. Like if this is going to happen for 40 years, I'm going to be miserable for 40 fucking years. And it was more about me. It was more about like, what am I going to do to understand myself and have a better perspective, right? And I think that program is for people who are like fucked. Like you heard Bonzi yesterday. He's like, yeah, I was in a meeting. You missed it, James. He's like, yeah, I was in a meeting. My first one is I'm like, whoa, this is fucked. Because the guy next to me was like, hi, I've had 10 DUIs. My name's Jimmy or something like that. And Bonzi's like, I don't have 10 DUIs. You walk in there and you're like, I'm not as fucking miserable as those guys. That's not what it's about. It's not a comparison thing. It's just about the steps and fucking learning how to be a human being. And once you get past that point, you got some sobriety.
Everybody has their reasons for doing it, right? Exactly. Everybody has their different. Everybody needs something a little bit different, right?
I'm shocked.
I'm
shocked. Sorry, go ahead.
I get that I just about stopped for liquor today. Like we talked about that on the show today, actually, or yesterday. It doesn't matter. But we were talking about anytime I see any positive study about alcohol, we get it on the show immediately because it just reinforces our alcoholism, right? So it was a conversation about having a couple of glasses of wine a week could really help if you got high blood pressure. And I'm like, but this might not apply to me because if I open that bottle, I'm going to dummy that fucking thing. Like it doesn't stand a chance. Like I'll throw away the cork, Locke, because it's juice and I'm going to kill it. Right. Mm-hmm. And I have that in me. So I don't open a bottle of wine every night because I know that as soon as she's free, it's on.
Let's go. Yeah, and I was saying earlier, like I've been amazed over the past, I would say 3-4 months, a lot of friends that I've had and people that I know calling me and saying, I drank a lot during the pandemic. Like I fucking
mine went up.
Down. Like I fucking and now I'm in a place I'm not real happy about. My wife's on my back and my kids are like, is dad drunk again? And it's like Thursday at noon.
I fucked her sister. It was fucking awful.
Yeah. I put a move on her sister. I jerked off in traffic. And like these stories, I'm like, so is like, and it always is the same thing. It's like, well, why? Like what is it that you fucking needed to? And he's like, and the answer's always the same. The answer's like, I just needed to get to where I needed to be able to deal with this. And that's like the fucking most unattractive thing to me in the world now. Before I would be like, me too. Let's pour 4 ounces in a glass and talk about it, babe. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's talk about how fucking bad our lives are and commiserate.
Let's try to figure out what the problem is.
Yeah, but because here's the thing. Everyone knows when you're affected or you're drunk, you're not here, dude. You're somewhere else. You're numb. You're not taking part in life. You're not getting better. You're not developing tools to be able to manage hard conversations or go through tough things. And then it gets to the point where that's your go-to and you just go back to that and then you stop dealing with life because everything's way too fucking tough, right? And when you can get to the point where you're like, okay, I've removed that from my life, no matter what it is. Like, listen, I have fucking nothing against booze. It ain't for me because I needed to get to a place where I had to be happy. And to be happy, I had to remove the thing that prevented me from being happy, that was making me way fatter, that was giving me fucking heartburn, that was giving me brain fog, that it was in the way, dude. It was just in the way, and I had to move it. And I think if you can get to a point where you're talking to people and they say, here's where I am, this is what I'm doing, and they say, but I would much rather be over there than over here, right? Like when the fear of staying the same overcomes the fear of change, that's when guys fucking change. Like it's a simple fucking equation.
Didn't the pandemic kind of provide us with like, there were two people. There were the people that like watched Netflix and got depressed and drank a lot and ate a lot. And then there were people that were like, I'm going to, I guess, see if I can take advantage of this like societal hiatus or whatever you want to call it. I used to guzzle red wine like King Joffrey's jester. Remember that?
Yeah.
He just put his head back. And I happened to coincidentally quit drinking on Christmas 2019. And then the pandemic started like a couple months later. And now it disgusts me to smell it. And I'm telling you, I drank like 4 bottles of red wine a week and then like 3 Mickeys of vodka a week. That was like, I'd alternate. And I did that for years. And then I just stopped. And now it grosses me out. And it's like,
yeah, I'm not there yet.
It left me with crippling anxiety. I'm not going to lie to you. Like it really
drinking did.
Well, yeah, because as soon as I stopped drinking, I felt stuff. I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Why am I crawling along the walls here? Like, what's happening?" Mm-hmm. And it's I'm feeling shit. Yeah, for the first time.
I do have a much more simplified version of what the pandemic did to me. I started reading and looking around and observing people in my life drinking more. And I went, well, if they're doing it, it must be the thing to do. So I was just trying to be supportive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Right. So that's why my drinking went up. I used to drink just 48 beer every 2 weeks. Now I need the bridge pack. I keep talking about this, but it's true. Like on a Wednesday.
Is it a 6er or 12, the bridge pack?
Depends. Depends.
Half sack or a full?
Sometimes it's a 15er. 1 week it was a 24 pack.
You're going to have to schedule dentist appointments around your hangovers again. Oh, doc, I can't make it that day.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
This is bad when Positive Mike tells you to slow down, Locke.
Yeah.
Slow down, Locke.
Maybe
But
slow down.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing is that I used to say that too. Like I would see, this is how crazy I was. And now I think about it and I'm like, fuck, you're an idiot. I would drive downtown Toronto and I'd see these like homeless dudes that had to be in their 50s, right? I was in my early 40s and I'm like, look at them, they're still alive.
They must have great immune systems too.
Like motored right past quality of life or even having a home. And I'm like, he's alive. Right,
Jimmy
guy lives on the street and smokes street butts, and he drinks whatever anybody give them, and every fucking guy's alive. Like fucking, it can't be that bad.
Somehow he's got a
and
dog.
That's what Locke just finished. That's what Locke just finished doing. I saw all these other people and upping their alcohol intake, and I thought I needed to be supportive of them.
Lachlan
And I
got a
also
dog,
thought
too.
I wouldn't have a social life if I didn't drink, and I got a dog.
So Jimmy
You'll be
has
on the
the
street in
best
no time,
story.
Lachlan. We could call you Blockland.
Jimmy has the best story. So he had to get his second shot of the vaccine, and the day that that he was going to get a shot, I can't remember. I think it was I'm pretty sure it was a Wednesday or Thursday because we talked about it before the end of the week. And he had like a 1 o'clock appointment, and somebody dropped off beer that morning, and I remember handing him a beer while we were on the air. And I cracked mine, and he kind of looked at his and went, I have to be sober for my second shot. Like, I don't want to go get the vaccine and be drunk. And I went, no, it's not like we're going to drink like all of this beer. Just have a couple
guy.
and then brush your teeth, right? And then I totally forgot about it. Then I coaxed him out to lunch, and we hit a pub, and we had some chicken wings and a couple more beer. And then the next morning, I go, how did it go? And he goes, I got kind of an embarrassing story. And I'm like, what? What could it be? And I'm completely oblivious because this is just that was just a typical day for us. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I sat down in the chair, and the woman that was giving me the shot, she was talking to me. And just before she put the shot in my arm, she looked over at me. He's got a mask on and everything, and looks him right in the eye and goes, have you been drinking?
Because of the mask.
He got called out by the vaccination nurse for drinking.
Did he lie? Did he lie or did he tell the
He said,
truth?
no. He said, I had one with lunch. And she goes,
It's
and kind of did one of those.
Yeah, it's good because he lied, and everybody lies. It's one of the fucking funniest things is when I would come home and my ex would go, how many drinks did you have? I'm like, just a few. It's like 12.
Trying to put on a straight face.
Yeah, and I remember I was thinking to myself, imagine if I was honest every time I came home. Imagine that. I'd be single.
It's not a good idea.
No, but imagine if I was honest and you came home. Like, imagine if you actually told the truth. Imagine if you told the truth every time someone asked you if you had a drink. Yes, I've had 3 bottles of wine. Dad, it's 2:00 in the fucking afternoon.
Shut up and bring me my pizza.
I was at work at 5. That's always my line. Whenever I get called for day drinking.
It's 5 o'clock to me. It's 5 o'clock to me, but it's 11. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock to me because I've been up since 4. Right? It's all good. It's after work.
Yeah. I prefer the morning show because I do drink less than I did when I was doing afternoon drive. And it is really hard to lie to your wife when you're cabbing home from work.
It's 3 o'clock.
It's 7 and the cab drops you off.
Speaking of lying to your wife, have you guys been following the Chris Sky saga?
No, I don't know.
You guys, are you even aware of it?
I know been arrested, but I don't know like why. Why is he in Winnipeg?
Holy fuck.
Domestic violence, I think, wasn't it?
So, dude, it is like heavy shit. He actually tweeted me and sent me a text. I haven't texted him back, obviously, because he's in trouble and I didn't want to stay away from that stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. But yeah, he got arrested. He got arrested in Winnipeg. Here's the video of him getting arrested in Winnipeg. This is like, I think 2 days ago, outstanding warrant. He walks out of a hotel with his luggage in a plastic bag, apparently, and two Winnipeg cops picked him up. Listen to this.
Is that
we love you, Chris? Yeah. So after that happened, this is literally a day later. I get a text last night from someone. They're like, "Hey, your boy Chris just got arrested in Blind River, Ontario, for domestic assault of his wife Jenny." And we went through and
know he was married.
Yeah. He's got a wife. Her name's Jenny. And he got arrested again. And that video, there's no video of the assault, but the dude got booked in Blind River. There was apparently a fracas where they were staying. Cops showed up, hauled him away, hauled his buddy Z away as well. And the very next day, and this is kind of the fucked up part. Obviously, he's saying, everybody's out to fucking get me and all the other shit that comes with what Chris Sky is all about, which is just saying everybody's out to get him because he's all about fucking non-compliance, right? Yeah, exactly. It's fucking delusional.
It sells shirts.
Well, yeah, I think that's coming to an end too.
I don't know if this is shirt selling though.
Yeah, I don't. Well, if the shirt he's going to be selling is a wife beater, maybe. But this is like
my idea. Don't steal my idea, dude.
This was him literally about an hour and a half ago getting let out of jail, and his wife showed up and riddle me this: do you think she's on stage tonight at 5?
Yeah,
yes or no?
Chris just got out. This is a wife beater right here. Look at him.
This is fake.
This is a very shook victim right here.
Yeah.
It's staged because she's the one that he apparently beat up. So now they're doing that. Hey, if you come to the jail, baby, give me a hug on camera. We'll post it. It'll be great. They'll throw it out.
We don't know that. We don't know that. Like, I mean, obviously that's where I'm leaning, James. Obviously, I think you're right. But like, this is 24 hours after he got arrested for allegedly beating up his wife, right? Like, this is literally 24 hours after.
Notice how you don't see her face.
Right here. Look at it.
Yeah, it's hard to find her face in any pictures either.
I wonder
Easy to find her guns.
I wonder if she's embarrassed by him.
I don't know.
I wonder if he's reevaluating his life based on the fact that he hangs out with a guy named Z.
No, he's not.
No. Okay.
No.
All right. I would.
He's not.
If I had a buddy named Z that was always there, I'd be like, why am I hanging out with Z? Yeah.
Well,
and what's his real name?
Who cares what the real guy's real name? He's a fucking idiot, just like all of the fucking non-compliance idiots that are all about non-compliance. But like, I find it fucking amazing that this guy's about freedom, and his world just keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Right? Yep. It's fucking unbelievable to watch. Like, I know what he's about. Like, I had a conversation with Chris 2 weeks ago. He called me. We talked for like an hour. And it was like a really normal, nice conversation. It was about his dogs. He owns wolves. They can open up the doors of his house. He's got like 10 wolves at his fucking house. And then we talked about adopting dogs and the best dogs to adopt. And then, his mantra as an anti-compliance guy. And I said to him on the phone, dude, the more you do this, the fucking smaller your world's going to get. You do understand that. And he's like, no, it isn't. They got nothing on me. He got arrested fucking twice. He's been in 2 different jails in 2 different provinces for the past like fucking 2 days. And he won't stop. So like, and here's the thing is that I know what he's doing. What he's doing is he's trying to teach people about non-compliance about everything, right? It doesn't matter what it is. He just fucking hates the law. And so because he hates the law keeps coming after him. And it's just going to end poorly. Like it is. Just
I don't know if that just because he hates. I think it's because he's an asshole, and I think he gets himself into trouble. I don't think that he.
I don't think he believes what he says anymore.
No, I don't think he does either. I think there's a lot of people struggling right now. We had a conversation on the air this morning about the the guys that get mad at you, because Grant did a report on the possibility of vaccine passports, and he was kind of making fun. And then we had a series of texts where people were mad about his fake report called the Grant Report. And I'm like, you know what? If somebody says to me, "Oh, you fucking loser! You got vaxxed. You're an idiot. You're a sheep," it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't even faze me. I chose to do what I do, and I don't care. I really don't. I have a problem with a lot of how the government handled the messaging and what we went through over the last year and a half, but I still believe strongly that the best way out of this is vaccination, and I played my part. I did my role, and if they mandate masks again, I'm going to wear them, even though I don't think they're that protective. Right? Like all these things, I'm doing them. It doesn't mean that I'm pro-government or I'm a sheeple. The guys that are like anti-vaxxers, pissed off at every step of the way, are now mad and fighting back and pushing back and getting angry over these things. And I said to a guy today that called, I'm like, why are you angry? You made your decision. You live in a country that allowed you to not get vaccinated. No one is you live in the freest country in the world, the best country in the world. If you choose to do that, you don't have to do it. Now, certain companies might not allow you to partake in their services and whatnot. That's your problem. You got to deal with it. Why are you mad at me and Grant and this show for making fun of it? That's on you. You're mad because you're embarrassed, aren't you? You're embarrassed about the decision that you've made.
Totally. And
that's
it's catching up with them, and then their world's getting smaller and they're angrier, right? Like it's cause and effect.
Yeah. And again, like I said to him, if you really truly were 100% comfortable, this guy's name was Al, and he was a smart guy. I said, if you really were 100% comfortable with the decision you made, why would that 1 minute and 30-second comedy piece make you so angry?
Because it directly challenges the things that they think they believe in, right? They're like, you're mocking something, and my position is that thing that you're mocking is really important for our freedom to travel and our mobility and all that kind of stuff, and we didn't break any laws, and you're telling us that we're going to be discriminated against, and you're mocking it. So that bothers me. That's, I think, what they're saying, right? Like,
yeah,
I can,
yeah.
But why, I think you're right. Why the anger? Why the anger?
I'll tell you why. I've had some time to think about this, actually. I'll tell you why the anger. The anger comes from the anti-vax community for a couple of reasons. One is the circle's closing, right? So the opportunity to get out. It's like fucking Fortnite. It's like the storm's coming, man. Like it is. I mean, you can't get out of it. And then all of a sudden, BC goes vax passport. Manitoba goes vax passport. Today, the public health services of Ontario, like all the public health authority guys in Ontario, the medical officers, told Doug to go fuck himself, and they're coming out with their own vaccine passports because Doug's not doing it for. So it's like you watch the walls kind of close in, and you've bet your house on this whole thing being a joke. Dude, I get it. I know why they're mad. And it's completely unjustified because they're the ones that are doing. And here's the fucked up part. Like I said this the other day to a dude, and I was talking about vaccine passports. Just a quick tweet. Like, fuck, when the medical officer's begging everybody to get vaccinated, but he still won't do vaccine passports, there's something wrong, I said. And this guy goes, it's about fucking basic human rights. Let me just say this to all of you that use that fucking lame ass excuse in your day to day, and you're like, you walk in with this fucking, it's my personal freedoms thing. Your personal individual freedoms, hear me out, write it down. Your personal individual freedoms do not come before the freedom of the greater good and their safety and their personal freedoms. Let me put a little fucking thing up on the screen for you today. Support for vaccine passport from Polling Canada. Nationwide, it's 76%. By province, BC's 85%. Quebec, 81%. Yay, Quebec. I might vote for the Bloc, actually. Ontario, 77%. Atlantic Canada, 76%. Alberta, surprise, surprise, 72%. Manitoba, Saskatchewan, 55%. By and large, across the nation as an aggregate, 76% of Canadians want this. That is, in case you're a real fucking moron and you're still going personal freedoms, that 76% means your personal freedom, individual freedom, does not matter. It doesn't matter. And you can't keep telling people it does, because that number is the only thing that matters. And if those people want it, they're going to get it. And I fucking am campaigning like an asshole for it, as we all have for a long period of time. Because what's the fucking alternative? Like, what is the alternative? By the way, here's Chris Guy's wife. Decent jugs.
I can't say the jokes because I'll get in trouble.
How would you sleep on your front?
I don't even know. Like, how do you? Yeah, exactly. On her side? I guess she sleeps on her side. I'll have to ask Chris.
Soon he'll collect the whole.
Later.
Anyways,
does that make sense? That whole concept of one person's individual freedoms does not apply to the safety and the individual freedom of the greater good.
There's a lot to unpack.
You can't argue around it
because the whole greater good part. The idea though that we're polling people on something that we don't really even know much about yet. Like, we don't know what the ramifications are. We don't know what industries are going to participate. We don't know what's going to happen to the industries that don't. We don't know if public opinion is going to flip after a couple of weeks, because it's going to be madness and everything takes forever. So when I see polls like that, I would love to know what the question was, because if the question was just like, do you support vaccine passports? I guess so. Yeah. Right. So then how would you answer? Fine, vaccine passports. And then the generic answer would be something like, well, it would be a document to prove that you got vaccinated, so that when you go to places, you show your ID and your vaccine passport, and then they let you.
No, I don't think this is a weak argument. I'm sorry. Yeah. I have to say that. Because I think the question was very simple, James. I think it was, do you agree or disagree with vaccine passports? And I believe that 75% of the population in this country agrees to institute them.
Okay, 76. So what does society look like after a month of vaccine passports? I'm asking you a question.
What's the nuance?
Relax, calm down. I'm just asking you a question. What does a society look like after a month of vaccine passports?
Who gives a fuck?
I'm not sure.
Less sick. I don't give a fuck. Dude,
I'm not. I'm not sure what you mean by that question. I think
it's a literal question. I'm not saying anything other than the literal question.
Yeah, but that's no. It's not. It's a hypothetical question, and it's a hypothetical question based on something that's not even here yet.
What's the hypothetical?
And so, a hypothetical is, what does this society look like after a month of vaccine passports?
It's not a hypothetical.
It's
an open-ended question.
Do you mean we're giving too much control to, and they're going to take
I'm
advantage
not
of it?
saying anything, guys. I'm not. There's no hidden meaning in what I'm saying, because
I don't know the answer.
Because I don't know the answer either. Right. So I'm asking. So when you have this blind support for something that you don't really understand,
I don't have blind support for it. I'm worried about it just as much as everybody else, because but the thing is, the thing about the vaccine passport for me is, at first I was against it. I was like, ooh, because I'm anti-government. I don't know if I want these guys mandating something like this. I don't want it. I don't like the idea of the government continuing to maintain control over us. Okay.
Right.
But
no one does.
The more I think about it, the more I think this is a way back to maintaining or getting back to the way life was before. If you can't force, to me, this is the alternative to saying either you go to an island or you get vaccinated. To me, that's the difference. And to me, it's a easier thing to swallow to say, all right, now if you want to go to a hockey game or a concert, you need a vaccination passport. If you choose not to be vaccinated, that's still your choice. And you can't go to the fucking hockey game. To me, it's easier, because the next solution is, if we do start to fucking pound the hospitals, and that fourth wave that's coming does actually kick into full gear, fills all the ICUs, and then the governments are forced to start making decisions about mandatory masks and shutting everybody down again, we are actually going to be in more trouble. To me, the vaccination passport is a way back to some semblance of normalcy, and also keeping everything open, which I think is more important than fucking Jason, my buddy Weird Jason's fucking desire not to get fucking vaccinated.
Okay, so this is all great. That sounds awesome, but it's all hope, right? You hope it works out. So all I was trying to say before
I'm also hoping that we don't have a fourth wave, James. What's that make me?
a guy who cut someone off 5 times so far in this podcast.
Okay,
Like
right.
I'm just trying to get a fucking sentence out. No, I'm just trying to get a sentence. Like you know, why? Just like, okay, I'll go. The poll, I don't know what the question was. It says 76%. I don't know how anyone can intelligently even comment on the vaccine passport when we have no fucking idea what the ramifications are going to be. This is all blind. So your position is, and it's a fine one, I don't have a problem with it, is that you support vaccine passports, but how could you possibly know what they do? How could you possibly know what's going to happen? When I say what is society going to look like in a month, I'm not saying I have an idea of what it will look like. I'm saying I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be mass protests because of like it's going to seem like a weird sort of quasi police state. I don't know if like retailers are going to revolt because it's causing traffic to build up in the middle of their store and it's like shoplifting's off the charts. I have no idea. But so that's why I don't think we know enough about it to comment on it intelligently. That's all I'm saying.
Can I put something
on the screen? The general concept is that you're commenting on. The general concept of a passport is that unvaccinated don't get to go in a bunch of places and vaccinated do. Great. I just don't think it's that simple. I just think that we don't know what the ancillary impacts are going to be.
Can I put something on the screen?
Sure.
See that? What does that say? What is that number?
1852,
right? Or 1852. Yeah. 1852. That's a year. That was the first year Canada mandated vaccine certificates. So we've been doing this for 200 years, give or take.
How many times have you showed it to a retail worker?
I had to show it. My entire family had to show it just to get into the country when we immigrated here, and then we all had to get inoculated.
Yes, we've all done that. We've talked about this before.
I'm not done. I'm not done talking.
But you've never shown it to a retail or a restaurateur before.
I can't get a sentence out.
And now you know how it feels like to talk to Lachlan.
I just traditionally wait for people to be finished and kind of put myself in a back seat and then don't take it personally. Right, it's way easier.
Thanks for showing your ability to lecture one guy.
No problem.
Good.
So anyway, my point is this. When people say we don't know how it's going to go, when people say, relax, dude. When people say they don't know how this is going to go, my answer to them is 1852. That's how it's gone. That's how we got rid of polio. That's how we got rid of MMR. That's how we got rid of smallpox. That's how we got rid of all the things that we're dealing with. I do understand what you're saying. I find that comment and the argument to be this hypothetical stretch towards fear porn. That's how I look at it.
But I didn't actually theorize anything. I'm just doing what you did. You're saying that you have faith in something that we've never done because we've never done it. We've never had to go out to dinner and don't forget your vaccine passport, kids. We've never done that. So
that's true.
We've done it at airports for international travel, and we've done it at schools, and that's it.
Yeah, as a society, we've done it dozens of times in 200 years. And so when I look at the argument in terms of will this work? Fuck yeah, it's going to work. And when you look at people that have mandated, and not just people, but countries, areas, regions that have mandated vaccines, Quebec mandated it, vaccination rates doubled. It happens.
That's part of that's part of the reason why they're moving forward with it too.
Right.
And then, it is actually having an impact.
Right. It is. It does. And I get the fear, James. Listen,
the threat of it has had an impact, right?
But it works the same way. That guy Al was on the phone with me going, "Aren't you scared about the fucking government having too much power?" I mean, they're presenting their case from a fear perspective as well. And they're the ones that are first ones to say, the media is fucking fear mongering. But you're in your truck freaking your fucking crew out. Yeah. Right? Like there's no difference there to me. Right?
I don't have a part my narrative is not don't tread on me. It's not like, the state's going to be like, clamping down. That's not really my argument at all. I just feel like we clung to the and we all agree, I think, that it shouldn't be called a passport, right? It should just be called something else.
I think that was a mistake for sure. Yeah.
I think they should call it a fuck you card.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
A fuck you card. How about that? Ontario's coming out with fuck you cards. Hey, every time you show it to someone, you want to go to Montana's for some ribs. You're like, sorry, can I see that? Nope, sorry, fuck you. Hey, dude,
seriously. When Trudeau was talking on stage the other day, he was sort of doing the same thing that you're doing right now. I fault him for doing it because he's a leader, and I don't.
Joking though.
You're a podcaster and you're joking, but I told you off air. I'll say it on air because I don't care. There's moments when people talk about this, when they talk about what's going to happen. I'm not saying you just did this, but it just reminded me of it, where it almost feels like I heard someone say "dirty Jew." Because that's sort of the thrust behind you are making it worse for me.
It's not that.
I'm telling you what I've experienced.
That's stupid.
I'm telling you.
It's not
that to me is ridiculous. It's like such a fucking massive stretch to go into a place where you're like, oh fuck, this is like that, right? That to me is like.
So anyways, I see people do it all the time,
and it's weird.
I was telling you about a personal experiences that I've had when I'm reading people talk about people that aren't getting vaccinated, how they're dehumanizing them, and I use that as my example. So settle down a little bit because I think it's a pretty good analogy.
It's extreme.
Like
it's too far.
If you replace the noun unvaccinated with any race or any whatever protected class, you'll see it right away. You'll see it right away.
Why would you do that though? That's like what all the fucking anti-vaxxers, anti-maskers do.
Because they didn't commit any crimes, and because you're persecuting them for being kind of stupid. I guess some of them you're persecuting others for being.
But what are we taking away from them? We're taking away right now. We're taking away an opportunity to travel.
Seriously, relax.
Right.
I'm getting tired of this.
Right, fuck off then, Dean. Like a person cuts me off a billion times, you say nothing. I cut him off twice, and you're like lecturing me for like 15 seconds.
Cut off. I'm not being cut off.
You take it so fucking personally. Like there's no point. There's no reason to take it personally. Every one of these shows, everyone gets cut off every 2 seconds. Relate to your two co-hosts in
the same way. Like just You're not. Anyways, it feels like a morning show kind of hangout, and then there's this guy. Hey, look at that guy.
We agree, and you have a different perspective, and we're having a conversation.
Okay.
And when we talk about it,
we'll
you
do
take
a running
it
count
personally.
on cut-ups for the first 10 minutes of the show, and then we'll like this.
Right, because that's what 6-year-olds do.
James, let me just say. Let me ask you this. This. With the vaccine passport, what exactly are we eliminating from in my mind? This is what I think we're eliminating. We're eliminating things that are extraordinary in anybody's life. We're like a lot of people around the world don't get to go out for dinner. They don't get to go to a concert. They don't get to do sporting events, right? These things cost money. They're a privilege of a developed society. Outside of the travel thing, I get like that one I find a little bit interesting, but I think Canada will follow suit with the rest of the world, right? If Europe and the United States is doing it and other countries around the world are saying, listen, if you're coming here, you got to be vaccinated. I don't think it's much of a stretch to suggest that Canada could do the same thing. But in Canada, if you are living in Alberta, BC, Ontario, Quebec, and you need a vaccination passport, what exactly are they eliminating you being able to do? It's luxury stuff, in my opinion. If they did start to eliminate things like, oh, you can't go to the fucking grocery store or Costco, then I think the conspiracy theorists and the people that are unvaccinated have a bit of a stronger foot to stand on. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be. But that's my
point about not knowing. You don't think that's going to happen, but it might. So I don't know how to even give an opinion on this subject if we don't even know what's going to happen. So, and that's.
But let's say Costco all of a sudden said, you can't come in here unless you're fully vaxxed, and we're going to be checking vaccination passports at the front.
Well, that's what I mean.
Don't you think that would be something that would automatically trigger a government to step in and go, okay, listen, we gotta create some boundaries now because you can't eliminate, basic human rights to shop for food.
I don't know.
Right?
Maybe the argument would be wherever there's a lot of people, that's where you can't be unvaccinated. I have no idea.
See, I have a little bit more faith in our governments. Just even though I'm anti-government, I have a little bit more faith in the fact that they're too stupid to be authoritarian. Like they're not organized enough, right?
I don't think they do it for I don't think they do it for nefarious purposes. Like they're sitting there like Dr. Evil. Which
a lot of people do, though.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think that everything is about the New World Order and globalism and all that stuff, but I just,
and that's a common thread. That's a common thread.
I'm hopeful that we're not going to have this passport for longer than a couple of years, anyways, because COVID goes away. I'm hopeful that that's what's going to happen, because once it's not like spreading anymore, I don't know why we have to have the passports, except
it is spreading, and it's spreading among the unvaccinated, and that's the point. That's why I think
it is right now.
Yes, and I think that's,
and I'm double
point.
vaxxed, so it's not like I'm making an argument against vaccinations. I'm not. It's
no,
the passport
I know.
I disagree.
I know. You're hanging on to your libertarian, your sort of views in that regard, and I understand.
But it also impacts disproportionately people of color, and it impacts Indigenous people disproportionately. It impacts poor people disproportionately. So there's these unintended consequences that no one wants to think about, because and really at the end of the day, if you're looking for like a portrait of what the anti or vaccine hesitant people look like, they're brown people, and they're often women. And so those are the people that we're essentially mocking when we're talking about, you don't get to come into Montana's. And we don't think about stuff like that. I'm not even saying people are bad for that and like they're racist or anything. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if we spend a little bit more time sort of like unpacking and lifting the curtain off of what this could mean, and then just develop an opinion on it based on what we uncover. And if we uncover certain statistics that make us uncomfortable, maybe we have to figure out why the stats are like that. And it's not always because of like batshit right-wing ideas, right?
The highest percentage. Go, Dean.
No, go ahead. I'm good. I'm good just watching right now. Thank you. Go ahead.
The highest rate of vaccination in this country, from what I saw a couple weeks back, was our northern communities, which are largely populated by the Indigenous communities. So I don't know. I don't know if there's color or gender on this. I mean, because I'm constantly shocked by who I see in Alberta that have chosen to not vaccinate. And again, my circle of friends is pretty limited because I'm an antisocial person, but I'm not seeing, when I'm thinking about somebody that's unvaccinated, I'm not thinking about a gender or a color. It just doesn't even come into the equation. I mean, it's 20% of our population, between 15 and 20% of our population. And I think it's largely due to misinformation and mistrust of the government, which I get. And I think that doesn't necessarily mean you're a certain race or a certain gender. I think I totally get that. It's just some people take that mistrust of the government to the point where they are neglecting taking care of their own health because they're in this country, and that worries me. I'm surprised we got to where we are, to be honest with you, James. I am absolutely amazed at how far along we are with the vaccination in this country, based on the level of dissension and angst against the governments, every level of government in this country.
Yeah, but we only talk to that one group of people, the Chris Sky kind of, Randy Hillier, Max Bernier. We direct all of our animosity towards them, and we're kind of wasting an opportunity to convince more people that vaccines are safe by doing that. But like, we could be focusing on an entirely different swath of vaccine hesitant people, or people that just haven't gotten the vaccine yet, and focus on them and try to increase the number of people that get vaccines by having like a dialogue and having like, hey, I understand. I get why you might not trust the government. I get, historical things, this and that, but here we are and we need you, I don't think it's been tried. So we can't say it's failed, but mockery, and I'm not talking about podcasters, but I'm saying like politicians and media and all that are like dehumanizing people for their beliefs because it's about vaccines and passports, is having an effect that I think worsens the problem, or at least delays the improvement of the problem. You can't really worsen the problem because vaccination rates can only go up. You can't get vaccinated. But like, I think it probably stalled that progress because of the methods, and because we want to track on our websites, and because we want to say a good zinger and all this kind of stuff. I think been an ongoing problem for months. I've made no secret of what I think.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I also think that by taking away that mockery, you're taking away all my fun in a day.
I know. That's why I left podcasters out of the equation. I'll leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've been pretty good about separating the people that can't get vaccinated from the cocks, though. Like, I think we've been pretty good about, the people that we've shamed being those people that that are running up and down sidewalks, interrupting people's dinners, shoving their anti-vax perspective down people's throats, making it difficult for other people to get on with their lives and enjoy a nice meal, all that stuff. Like, those are the people, and I've said it before through the process of critical thought, those are the people that I'm talking about, right? The people that, and Suzanne actually left a couple comments, and I loved them. These morons behind Agenda 2030, which spells out population reduction through vaccines. Quote, unless we put medical freedom into the Constitution, the time will come when medicine will organize into an undercover dictatorship. That was by a doctor. I am no longer trying to dig up evidence to approve vaccines to cause autism. There's already an abundant evidence. This debate is not scientific. It is political. Like, those people that are pushing their personal freedoms over and militantly. And I feel kind of the same way about the vaccine people, like the people that are like super like, fuck you, you stupid loser. And they don't make those distinctions. Like, there's a woman that tweeted me yesterday and she's like, but I can't get the vaccine because I've got, thrombosis and I've got this and I deal with RA and I've got a whole bunch of different things. And I'm like, you're exempt. Absolutely. Take care of yourself. You should be given an exemption. People like you absolutely should be exempt. I'm talking about the dicks. Like, I'm talking about the assholes. I'm talking about people that think this is the fucking great reset, or think that literally the only, because there's a large portion of that anti-vax group in my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, their whole thing is they're just pissed that they can't do the things that other people can. Like, it's about not being allowed to go into a restaurant. It's not really about their personal freedoms. It's about the wants that they have and not the needs of the greater good. So I'll put that on the table, and I'm happy to shut up again for the next 10 minutes and just listen.
Okay, I got your point.
I think
on the whole listening thing, but I think that the main point is what you said, but it's disproportionate, the coverage, yours and everyone else's. I can think 20 stories off the top of my head about the typical kind of stereotypical anti-vaxxer. I can barely think of 2 or 3 that are like, sympathetic or empathetic solely about vaccine hesitant and why they're hesitant. Like, those are rare. Those are like anecdotal. The focus is on the World Wrestling fans that happen to be conspiracy theorists who don't want to get vaccinated. That's what it looks like. When people close their eyes, they picture Bernier, Hillier, and Sky. They don't picture just someone who's genuinely concerned about, whether or not they want
a 6-year-old. Yeah. Yeah, or a 6-year-old, or an 8-year-old, or a 10-year-old that can't get vaccinated, right? Like, there's lots of different exemptions.
Yeah,
exactly. Well, what are you going to throw them into this pile too? I get what you're saying.
No, I'm not. I don't know where
totally
the 6-year-old thing came from. I have no idea what you meant by that. I just was talking about the regular people, the adults that were not getting vaccinated.
Oh, so I'm saying in general, there's another group of people who, through no fault of their own, can't be vaccinated, and they're under 12. That's why I said 6.
Oh, right. No, 10. I'm not talking about that. I didn't even think of them. Yeah, but right, but that they can't get vaccinated because nothing's been approved for them to get vaccinated. But the other people that can choose not to, there's a lot of different reasons. But we are, come on, like, out of 10 people that are familiar with anti-vaxxers and their stances, 9.5 out of 10 are going to picture the crazy conspiracy theorists, right? And that's because that's because they've consumed media that is mostly about them. I'm sure there's anecdotal examples of reasonable people who are hesitant, but we don't see very many stories about them at all because we're hyper focused on the thing that will get clicks. Isn't that accurate?
If you're a reasonable human being, shouldn't you be getting vaccinated?
Again, like,
right? Like, if you
we're caricaturizing people that have concerns about their health.
Yeah.
Whether or not those concerns are correct because they are educated properly is another argument, and it has nothing to do with the quality of the individual that's having trouble deciding. But We caricaturize them and we say that it does. I don't know.
Because I firmly disagree, and I agree with your segmentation of that whole thing. I firmly disagree because I think if you're a serious person, you believe in science, you do the work, you get comfortable with the decision you make, and you make a decision to get vaccinated because you can understand science, efficacy, double-blind studies. You understand everything and you've done the work. And if you're that concerned, like that's the fucking crazy part to me. If these people are that fucking concerned about this stupid fucking virus and this stupid fucking vaccine that everybody has to fucking get, wouldn't you fucking put in the work to not be ignorant? Like, wouldn't you put in the fucking work to go, maybe I should read a fucking study from Johns Hopkins University instead of just saying that I love being part of this podunk fucking group of people who are from some fucking far off trailer park who just want God to fix everything. Like that's to me.
Don't you want them to get vaccinated?
Do I want them to get vaccinated?
Yeah. We want herd immunity.
I don't give a fuck anymore. I don't really care. I know we're heading towards herd immunity, and I don't give a fuck either anymore. Like you're talking about how to reach out to these people. We're 77% in the country, right? 70. We want to get to 90. We'll get there when we close shit down. I'm done worrying about trying to placate a group of people that are being cunts. I'm done. And I'm not talking about the people who can't get vaccinated because they're sick. I'm talking about the dicks. I'm talking about the people who are just fucking riding this thing into personal freedom celebrity. Go fuck yourself.
It's clearly important to you that we do eventually get to herd immunity. I'm just curious if you think that fuck these guys is the best way there.
I don't care what the fucking best way there is.
I don't know what the best way is.
Then why do you care about the passports or the vaccines if you don't care what the best way is?
I already told you why I care about
the greater good.
Greater
good. I've already been over that.
The passports are a way to keep us open.
The greater good is herd immunity, correct?
No. That's the end result. The greater good is going out and actually making a decision for the greater good. It's not about you saying your freedoms matter more than everybody else's. 76% of the people that say we want vaccine passports, and 80% of the fucking country, which by the end of the week is going to be vaccinated.
I defer all stats that land in your direction. I defer it all to you. That's fine. I accept all of it. I'm just trying to get past this idea of this like fuck you anti-vaxxers and fuck you unvaccinated. And if the
alternative? Want to keep preaching?
If the greatest good is as many people vaccinated as possible, I think I have bad news for you because I don't think that idea, that way that you're framing this so simplistically and boiling it down to its worst possible representation is not going to help us get there. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with James, but I'm also in Dean's canoe. I've given up. When I have conversations,
that's personal safety. That's like me taking care of my mind. Like I'm not fucking interested anymore.
But James, when I talk to these people on a daily basis now, and because now if we get a complaint, I've been saying to Grant, and because I know he won't say it, but not because he doesn't want to, but because he's trying to be a unbiased person delivering the news on a morning show that shouldn't have news, but he does deliver these COVID numbers, and I always go, so let me get this straight. This is a pandemic largely of the unvaccinated. Like I'm at that point now where the numbers suggest that the people that are unvaccinated are getting the sickest. 80%, I think the numbers this morning were 80% of the people that are in the hospital are either one dose or unvaccinated. Then the 20% make up people are getting tested positive for COVID-19. The other 20% are people that have had 2 doses. 98% in Alberta of the people in ICU, 98 are in there because of being unvaccinated. And then that 2% makes up a portion of one vax or people that are double vaxxed. So there is a chance that you can still get sick and end up in ICU and potentially die from the vaccine. We're proving that now. Those numbers are there. But the numbers also support the fact that if you're unvaccinated, you have a much higher risk of getting sick and possibly dying from it. So I always make sure that we point out those. And is that a good thing for me to be on the radio going, hey, I'd like to point out that this is an unvax? No, it's a cock thing to do and say. Is it the right thing? No. But I'm one guy on the radio making mistakes, and hundreds before me and after me have made similar mistakes. I don't disagree with you, but nobody's coming to me with a better solution. Nobody has said, this is the way out of this. I was also pissed right from the get-go that they weren't on in the media saying, listen, people who have diabetes, who are overweight, who don't take care of themselves, they're the ones that are getting sickest from COVID. None of that was ever said, because you can't say that shit anymore. We live in this overly politically correct world, and we keep having unintended consequences because of it. Where would we be, James or Dean, if somebody had said right at the beginning, and it was a strong message, listen, fatty, you're in fucking trouble. If you get this, you could potentially die, and there's a way better chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to segregate everybody who has a risk. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We would be in a very different position where we are now. The whole world might not have been shut down if we would have stepped in at that point. Maybe. So we're going to continue to make mistakes, James.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough about the science to comment properly on whether or not if these unvaccinated people remain that way, if it increases the vaccinated population's chance of getting some sort of variant because of our immune systems and how it reacts to like the non-vaccinated. I don't know how that all works, but again, I just think that I don't know. Most importantly, I don't have an answer. It's not like I'm sitting here championing like, yes, we should do this because this will work. I just know that mockery won't, and so I'm just trying to like talk about whether or not we're sort of authoring our own demise by relentlessly attacking these people. Yeah. Not us, but the royals.
Probably.
You know?
Yeah, probably. It probably. Listen, after this last 20 minutes, I can agree. It probably doesn't help.
No, it doesn't.
Like, yeah, but like it's a coping mechanism for a lot of people, right? Like, fuck, we went out and did this. You're not doing this. It's going to last longer. The more people don't do this, it's how people cope. Like me saying fuck you is me coping with the fucking inability for me to understand how this isn't common sense for people, right? You're double vaxxed, I'm double vaxxed. Common sense. We wanted that level, 97% level of protection between us and 100% level of protection between us and death. So we did it. Now, when we're sitting here talking about it and three like-minded individuals are getting angry with each other for whatever different reasons there are, I mean, that speaks to the level of animosity in this fucking subject, right?
We're on the same fucking page. We're on the same page and we're fighting.
I just want to let you guys know, like, from the bottom of my heart, that it wasn't like my anger for you was not about the pandemic. It was totally personal.
Yeah, we know. Speaking of which, I do want to turn to this because we were supposed to talk about it the other day. Do you see this dude, Spencer Eldon? Did you guys hear about this?
I joked about this and tried to find the tweet like years ago.
Dude.
Like,
the Nirvana babies, guys, is 30 years old. His name's Spencer Eldon. He's now suing. This is him here, pimping out the picture. Him fucking doing it like, I don't know, every year he remade the picture. He launched a lawsuit against Nirvana and Kurt Cobain's estate. Let me just see if I get this right. He is suing and filed a lawsuit for $2.5 million. He's now accusing the band of being child pornographers.
Sexual exploitation.
They wouldn't be able to put out that album cover in 2021.
I know, that's a great point.
It's actually a weird one, right? I wanted to. I thought of that guy when I was talking to a buddy of mine years ago about how if we could get a collective of circumcised people to sue their parents for genital mutilation, for
like a class action lawsuit.
Yeah, something like that. And then we talked about this Nirvana guy. He's clearly like doing it for money, but does
Spencer
he have a case though? Like
he's got a Nevermind tattoo.
Yeah, he does. And he's got actually a tattoo of that picture, and he's made tens of thousands of them on it since then. He's filed this lawsuit against his estate. Quote, The band's surviving members saying the grunge pioneers violated federal child porn statutes and sexually exploited him now. It says he's suffered lifelong damage from having his naked penis plastered on the triple diamond selling album, and claims neither he or his guardians consented to the naked photo shoot.
Maybe his penis never grew and he's all bitter.
That's probably yeah.
How the fuck do you explain these pictures then if like nobody consented to it? How do you explain that picture? Like, did they just find a baby in the water?
What
like,
he's
was it
saying,
just floating there?
He's saying that when they shot the picture,
there was no consent.
The parents said the parents were told by the band or management that they would edit the album cover, and apparently that didn't happen. But you'd think that maybe that conversation would have happened earlier, and then it did.
He waited for the cultural shift, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, that was the point we made on the air the other day when this broke. You know what? I think this has more. This sounds like somebody who knows him or somebody in his family and that's a lawyer that said, have you ever thought about suing the band for whatever? And then them going, yeah, what could we get? And then come over to Denver, let's talk about it. Yeah. That's exactly what that is. And
they want $500,000 or something, they'll walk away.
They'll walk away for $1 million, $500,000 just to make the story go away. I mean, and the timing is suspect. It's 2021. It's the 30th anniversary of that release coming up here in about 4 weeks. So it's definitely done on purpose. I don't know if I blame the kid as much as I blame somebody seeing dollar signs and a possibility of walking away with a payday.
And it's a great point that James makes about culture catching up with, his ability to actually say now he's pissed. Like now we're in a space and time where like everybody's going, listen, go back as far as you can. Try to remember anything that you might be able to get money from that doesn't comport with today's standards, right? Like that's really feels like that's what he's done. And I looked up Kurt Cobain's estate's net worth. Do you guys, know how much he's worth?
It's like $100 million, isn't it?
No. Guess. Anybody? Kurt Cobain's, yeah.
Well, isn't it Courtney and Sydney that has all the money?
No, this is just Kurt Cobain's estate. So I don't know who. I think Courtney controls it for sure. And actually, Frances Bean, his daughter, controls it now. But you know how much
she runs it? It's in the billions, isn't it?
No, it's $550 million.
Okay, I thought it was $1 billion, but that's
$550 million.
Just like albums and merch, and I guess money from concerts from 5 years ago. Jesus Christ!
And songs.
And so there's a lawyer probably that saw his net worth online, and much to what you said, probably a born-again Christian lawyer or some woke dick who's just money hungry was like, times are tough right now. We could probably get a couple million, and there's 450 or 550 million in the bank. Why not? And you're right. They will. They'll say, here's $500,000. Go fuck yourself.
Plus,
you're an idiot.
It forces Nirvana's estate to defend a naked child on a cover of an album. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? The second that they comment on it, they're going to have to be like, well, it's not something that we do today, but at the time it was perfectly legitimate to show a child's penis on a multi-million-dollar selling album. Like it's just,
I agree with Emily. I want to hear Dave Grohl's thoughts on this, because Dave Grohl's the kind of guy that would have a take on this that everybody would go, oh yeah. And he's the kind of guy that would be able to say what he actually feels about this lawsuit. Now, the problem is I think the lawsuit not only is suing the estate, but also suing individual members of Foo Fighters. So Grohl's got a suit in front of him as well. And their lawyers are going to sit down and they're going to go, you just write this dick a check.
Dude,
and
you know how easy it is to get money out of people with a lawsuit that are really wealthy? Like really wealthy people will either spend money fighting or they'll go, hey, listen, it's $500,000. Whatever, I got 500 million. Like it's, what I mean? Like it's, and there's a certain segment of society that people know. I remember when I was on the radio and we got sued several times. And every single lawsuit ended the same way. Like it started with 10 million or 2 million or 750 grand. And you know what? The person always walked away with 25,000 every single time. It's like, I'll take 25 grand. because I know I'm not going to win in court, and I don't have money to fight this. And I know
that number sounds very familiar based on some lawsuits I've been involved in.
Yeah, 25 grand seems to be the number, right? That number that everybody wants.
It's weird. You just pulled
I just
that
want
number
25
out of
grand.
your-
Let's sue him for 40 million.
Yeah.
25 grand.
Anyone that's ever threatened me with a lawsuit, then found out what my net worth was, and we're like, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I'll take $25.
Yeah.
It's me too.
That's my common line on the. Somebody asked me one time, "Aren't you worried about being sued for what?"
For what?
I'm $500,000 in debt.
Suing for your debt. Now I own that debt. Wow.
My retirement plan is dying. Like, go ahead,
Yeah.
sue. I'm not even going to respond to the letter.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way. Go ahead. Like Eugene Melnick sued me last year, and my letter back was like, "Come get it, fella." Like,
Yeah.
fuck, there's not much here. Yeah, go ahead. Blood from a stone. Come get it, fella. I said, no word of a lie. ... No word. Come get it, fella. But yeah, I fucking think this is a hilarious story. It's because you know how much you got paid for it originally. The mom got
$200.
paid $200. Yeah, that's fucking unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
$200. Last thing I want to deal with today. Have you seen this thing called the milk crate challenge making its way around the internet?
I have some thoughts on this, and I want to get your guys' take.
I do too. Cinnamon challenge was a big one, and then there was that one challenge where it's like, see if you can kill yourself before your parents get home. That ended quickly. I think it was called the whale challenge. Then there was the ice buckets.
Oh, that fucking thing! Remember, you'd throw
ice
boiling
bucket
water
challenge.
into the frigid air,
yeah,
and it would come back on you, and people were like getting third-degree burns and shit because not.
Thank you for bringing that up because this isn't too far off. The milk crate challenge. This is what it is. Having a hard time understanding why people do this, but effectively it's a pyramid of milk crates stacked up, and each one is an incremental milk crate. And if you've seen the show Wipeout, this is really like the trailer park version of Wipeout. Here you go.
Oh, Jesus! I hate that shit.
I watched. It's funny
Look at
you
this
brought
guy.
this up today.
And it's always head first.
Why?
I watched 30 of these today.
I avoid this shit like the
if you
plague.
guys want to see something really funny, it's 4 minutes long, 4 minutes 30 seconds long. It's Ozman reviewing about 10 or 15 of them, and he's hilarious. I love his videos. Anyway, we had a conversation about this because it's popular right now. It's a TikTok thing, viral videos, whatever. You had a better term for it, Dean.
Challenge. It's a
You
I
called
can't
it
remember what
the
it's
trailer park challenge. or
Oh, the
something.
trailer park version of Wipeout. Yeah, that's what it is. If you've seen the TV show Wipeout, where it's like this fucking crazy obstacle course where people literally get CTE on every episode. That's
Yeah.
exactly what this milk crate challenge is. Look at this guy. This is a new one. He's up there. His kids kick it out. He goes fucking head first.
Yeah.
And he's out. Like the people
Yeah.
are getting severely injured, and I can't stop watching these.
It's for
I literally
views too.
can't.
Aren't they motivated by views? Like people are going to
Yes.
see this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing.
What
We
was
brought
this?
this up, and Grant right away was like, we should get Jimmy to try this. And I'm like, no, we're not getting Jimmy to try this. But now here's the problem with these videos, and I don't understand what it is about my wiring that gets me to this point. But I'm not a daredevil guy, but I actually think that I could do it.
No,
So
Do you think
that's
you
what
could
ends
get
up-
to the top?
you're
I
too
think-
heavy.
I think
too
you're
heavy.
big, yeah.
You know
Heavy.
what?
I
You know what
can
it is
stand
about milk crates and milk, because I've had tons of milk crates or friends that were DJs back in the 90s that had all the whole wall was milk crates, and then we used to do stuff with them. But like not that. But milk crates have this thing, like once you get above 6, it teeters. It just does,
Yeah.
just to the weight distribution. So if you weigh like 180 pounds and up, if you don't hit that thing like right in the sweetest spot of all time, then you're just gonna flip. Like you're gonna fall. You're too heavy. The break dancers and the small people like are my height and weigh 150 pounds or something like that, they might be able to do it, but they still have to be agile on where they put their foot. You know,
I think I could do it.
I don't think so, dude. Here's a big dude. Not as you're big. You're not as big as him, but this is another big dude.
I love it when fat guys do shit like this. It's awesome.
Oh, dude, this guy's very fat, and all that weight came down right on his fucking head. It is unbelievable. I'm shocked he's alive. Yeah, it is. This is incredible. Gets the top.
I love the billboard in the back.
Whoa, James, you're gonna love it. Jamesy, watch this. Here it goes. You start to move.
What are you doing?
Watch this. He's 12 feet. He's got to be 12 feet in the air.
You know what I love about that is
The
that
soundtrack.
they put it on. Yeah, that and they put it on concrete, right?
Look at the next step. Look, not flush. Done. Bye. Kink. You know? Oh my God!
The more I think
Robin
about this,
Black
the more I
binked
think we
any
should
of
get
these
Jimmy
yet?
to do it.
Has Robin binked them? Because that'd be
No,
great.
I don't think he has. I asked him to bink another one for us a while ago. That one's not even the best one.
I don't want to see anymore.
No, you have to. Just one more.
I love
house is
watching
about to
fat
drive
guys
through a
do
tunnel.
stuff like that, though. I don't know what it is. It's just I'm always on the side of the fat guy.
I know, me too. I love the fat guy. The best part is the gender reveal milk crate challenge.
What the?
This guy. No, wait. You got to wait. You want to see severe injuries?
No.
I
No,
do.
you do.
I kind of do.
Look at this. He's getting up there. He's getting up. He's having a baby. Gets up with.
Has he got the kid? Has he got the
He's
kid?
going up the milk crate. No, not yet. Oh, boom! Boom!
Look, the
Look at
guy's
this
gonna
guy.
die, and they're all running
He's
around.
out.
laughing. Yeah. World star hip hop. What? What the fuck?
It's a boy, and he's got a broken wrist.
Look at him. He can't even fucking move.
It's a boy, and he broke his femur.
I
we
love
live in
it.
The age of too much mockery. Like I just like I can't take.
Yeah, you're
all
really
this personal
against
They're onto the
mocking.
mockery thing today.
Yeah.
That
I
was
don't
his
know.
choice to walk up
Laughing
those things.
I don't know. It's because I have small kids and I don't want them laughing at each other's pain. I don't know what it is. Like this
You
is like
gotta
Bugs
embrace
Bunny
it.
with an
Something,
anvil, but
there's
it's
something
real.
very healthy about laughing at videos where people are. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm in a bad
All right.
mood. What do you want? Yeah.
No way.
Shut up.
it's healthy.
You'll watch the replay and you'll be like, yeah, we were coming off like a couple of arrogant fucking morning guys a little bit.
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
I don't think we were.
Yeah, you were.
I just think you had a
We
moment.
do
Dean,
turn on you.
sometimes
Like
you-
I'll
I want to
admit
make a
it,
whole bunch of
but
clips.
it's because
Dean
of how you
over laughing at Lachlan. I want to just make an entire. You know how
Hey, I'm
that girl.
funny.
That girl
I'm
put out, what
fucking
was it,
funny.
24 hours of farting?
This
We
is
should
not
put
his-
24 hours of Dean's like hysterical cackle at little jokes.
But it's
I love
funny.
I know
I'm
it is.
funny, and sometimes
Sometimes you're not that funny though. Sometimes you're not as funny as the laugh would indicate.
you're cutting off Lachlan.
Yeah, I know. But it's no big deal, guys. Relax.
All right.
don't cut you guys off. I don't cut you guys off.
I'm bad for it. I'll admit it. I do it, and especially when you're saying something stupid. I particularly.
He's got it. He knows it. Hey, if
for the
we didn't
listeners.
love you, and if there wasn't mad love and mad support every single moment of every single day, off air and on air, then I would have a problem with everything that happened here today. But we love each other.
I'm pretty sure I put the mad in mad love.
Pretty sure you're not wrong either, right
At least
there.
I'm honest, fuckface.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true. Self-aware. I like it. Thanks,
My
Locke.
face
Thanks,
looks like I've
James.
been drinking too much.
Thanks, shiny face.
Just noticed that. I've been hard on the booze last
Gerber.
couple of weeks,
No.
and I
Go for it.
I have that look like his liver needs a break.
Lachlan,
Yeah.
do you think that maybe you're
He's
setting
sweating and shiny.
are you determined that whenever you do quit drinking, if that day ever happens, that it's just going to
don't
be
be
like one of
silly.
these? It's just going to be like one of these things. I just stopped because I felt like stopping. There was no problem. Never had a problem. Is it going to be like in that area?
I have thought about the idea that day may come, right? Like I've had that moment where I've thought, you know what? There may be a day where somebody says it would be a really good idea for you to stop drinking.
Someone named Deb.
Well, no, that was 20 years ago. You kidding?
It's once a week.
No.
Welcome to Sunday
No,
dinner.
I'm talking about somebody in the medical community.
I don't trust the medical community, so keep going.
Is it Bonzi?
No. See, right now, like I listen to people and I hear them talk about the impact of drinking on their lives and the things that were getting in the way of them being a happy, successful human being, right? Like acid reflux, or I don't know, can't sleep, or I don't know,
Beating
just
your kids.
ED. Yeah, I don't beat my kids. I mean, there's a host of things that people put in front of them as reasons to stop doing whatever it is they're doing. I've never been able to smoking. That I was able to, like, because I smoked hard for 20 years, and I spent 10 years trying to quit. And I had a lot of things on the list of this is not a good idea. I'm not there yet with booze.
Okay.
I haven't got a list.
Thank you.
I love it. I love that you just stand on that hill and go, I'm good.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a problem.
I am good. I'm looking at my face right now going,
Yeah.
maybe that should be one of them.
Dude, I'm looking at James's face and my face and yours in the middle.
Yeah.
And someone here drinks.
You're
a lot.
You're a redder shade of neck on a whiter shade of trash, my friend.
Dude, look at this picture I just took. This is fucking unbelievable. I just took this picture of us in the middle of that conversation. Yeah. Look at your face. Look at your face. Like I don't know if red flag or red face, but it's loading. Hang on a second.
You're embarrassed about something all the time.
No, look at.
I do have. Yeah, no, I do have that. At least it's not yellow yet.
That's like what's that guy's name? Steve Bannon. You look like Steve Bannon.
At least I'm not yellow yet.
Yellow? Who's yellow?
Jaundice.
That's right, jaundice from because
yeah.
all the booze sits in your system is like it's killing
Scurvy's coming up.
Guys, appreciate you both being here. Before we go, a little bit of this for everybody, just because we can. Right?
Oh my God, that woman! I hope she. Sophie, just grab the gardener.
What did I say in that piece today?
Just take the gardener. Just grab him. JT's busy. She needs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I said that. I said that Trudeau's campaign was like the political version of his wife singing bedtime songs.
Oh yeah. Like okay, hold on. Let me ask you a question about Sophia, because you said Sophia. Sophie.
Yeah.
So Sophie.
It means knowledge.
Was she actually? Because you don't see her anymore. Did they yank her from the public eye pretty much after that video?
I think she yanked herself
3 years ago. No, it was 3 years ago. She was told, I have friends. She was told after she broke into this fucked up song in the octave of whatever the fuck that is. She was told, stay away from him, stay away from the campaign trail, stay away. That video of her butchering a nighttime song you have no idea how incredible that's been.
I am
you have no idea how fucking
by
impactful that's been.
I am fascinated by that, and just
I am too.
At how cringeworthy it is.
Yeah,
I know, and it was 3 years ago.
That'd be really interesting if we could bookend that whole story by saying, "Look, at Sophie just didn't want to out her husband. She was trying to do the right thing." Like that's going to be awesome. It's going to be pretty amazing if that's what happens. Because Lachlan, you're right. He'll be more popular than ever. He should do it right now if it's true. Seriously, I'm not kidding. He should do it right this second.
I think what James is talking about is something that we all agreed not to say,
not to talk about, but why not?
Oh,
we're live.
Wait, we're live? We've been doing the show this whole time?
Yeah, this whole time.
I got mad.
There was some suggestions over the last week or so. since we got a
Okay, stop it. Enough of this shit. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, there's a rumor going around that there's a prime minister that might be gay and he's in the closet, and it's trouble with the marriage apparently, but it might not be true. And there you have it. All right, that's all. It's okay.
I'm glad dude. I know we're not going to get sued. It's a rumor. Yeah, it's a heavy rumor,
and it's responsible for us to share it with you.
But I'll tell you, when I heard the rumor, I still didn't believe it until I saw that 3-year-old video.
That's her blues song. Someone said, write a blues song. And she's like, okay.
No.
Yeah. There's something going on.
So
there like the lack of Sophie in everything over the last 3 years. And I'm not going to get into emails I have or conversations I've had. Something's going on. We had a post about it like a year ago. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty sure Justin Trudeau and Sophie aren't together. Pretty sure. Just rumor.
I just want to let you know that operatives, every time there's an election, conservative operatives, some of them used to work in the Harper government.
And that got in my head. That got in my head.
That were my sources at one time. They spread stuff that was totally untrue last election, and I fell for it for like 10 hours. And then I like posted this thing that was like, and I didn't name names, but they knew I could have, so they left me alone. And they're doing it again for sure. I don't know if this is the one that they're doing, but they're certainly doing it again. Last time they spread a rumor.
It happens on both sides.
That when he was a teacher, he had an inappropriate relationship with a student, and then the student, the parents, and him signed a non-disclosure agreement.
Yeah,
and then the Creston reporter was also around that same time too.
The which?
The
blackface photos,
and how the groping, the groping too.
Yeah.
There's something. I'm not willing to say either way what it might be, or it could go one of 4 ways. But like, there is a lot of darkness behind Justin Trudeau, and I think we can all admit that. Like, I think we can all say, they're like the rumors and stuff. And some guy tweeted me, and it's easy to call people names, easy to label people and stuff like that. I don't know what is going on with him and Sophie, nor is it traditionally anybody's business. But he is the prime minister, and if he's living in a situation where they're not together, that's not real, right? Maybe they're staying together. I don't even know if they're together or not. Like, I have no idea. But the rumors, and James is right. Like, the stuff that people send us on a daily basis, saying this is what's going on with this person. And James has actually been cool about it, because I sent one of them to James. I'm like, hey, check this out. And he's like, careful, because that might be the conservatives sending you stuff you don't know, right? You got to be real careful. So until Justin Trudeau and his lovely wife decide to, address this, address like what the fuck is what's happening? Is it one of those things that nobody talks about? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be framed as anti-gay, even if you talk about it. Like, it'll be framed.
You know what I'll say, and this is why I think it. This is why I'm baffled by the whole situation, because I can't stand him. Like, I hate him because when he speaks, you can tell he's not actually saying what he means. He's disingenuous, and that goes everything he says. I don't trust, because I can't handle him on TV, because I can just tell he's lying. And I kept saying out loud, in the last election, I kept saying on my show, can't you look at this weasel? Like, he's not real.
It's like the shopping network. That's his quality. His delivery has all the believability as a person selling you stuff on an infomercial, like the ShamWow guy or something.
Here's the thing: if he came out, I'm still not going to vote for him. But if he came out on a podium and said, "Listen,
here's the deal,
and this is who I am," I would have way more fucking respect for the man. I swear to God, I totally would. I'm not going to change my vote in the upcoming election, because I don't think he's a worthy prime minister and a representative of our country. But I would have more respect for him if he was honest with us about who he is, if that is the case. And I think it would go a long way in securing votes from a liberal-leaning country.
And I think that you're right. And I think that one of the big reasons is because we're like, well, we can't deny it at all. He's telling us the truth for once.
Well, hold it.
Like,
I don't know that we can even go that far. Like it, someone's marital issues. I'm trying to fucking stay on the safe side here. Someone's marital issues
may not be representative of an attraction to the opposite sex.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know. I mean, like, going back to this thing, but generally speaking, if a politician or someone in the public eye came out and said, "Here's who I am," 100%, right?
Oh, no.
We would trust that person more than we trust
Yes.
someone who lives a bullshit fucking existence, right? Whether or not he and his wife aren't together, or whether they are, or whether or not he's otherwise engaged or she is.
Unfortunately,
it's like this loud fucking weirdness that nobody's talking about, that everybody's going, well, what the fuck is it? Like, what's happening?
And with his track record and his brain trust's track record, he's more likely to pretend to come out as gay when he's not than he would be to come out as gay if he is. Because they just strategize everything to the point where you're like, oh my God,
Yeah, and I don't even care. I don't care what he is.
I don't care. But it'll be fun to watch.
If he likes cock, I don't. No one does anymore. I mean, we're at that point in the world where we're going to judge the man for hiding it from us and lying about it, and lying. But
we don't know if it's true.
That's the case.
Right.
I would judge him more for that than I would for him. Like, there just isn't that judgment anymore. You don't see it. I don't care. Who the fuck cares? I mean, 25 years ago, it made more sense to we had a gay politician on this podcast that said, if I ran for prime minister, I would tell everybody I was gay, and he added that in the column, the checklist of things that would be a positive thing for him to run on.
Bob Richardson, yeah.
He said, if I was, I got this, I got this, I got this, I'm gay, I got this, I got this. He listed that as an advantage in a race in politics, and I think it is. I think it definitely would be in the world that we live in now, right?
But for whatever reason, no matter what
there's something going on. Dean's not wrong, though. There has been rumors, like crazy rumors, about his marriage, and and about what we're alluding to as well. There have been those rumors over the years as well. It's not the first time I've heard it. I've always just like, nah, that's just people being why no one's malicious.
Maybe you can take, like, a lot of people saying they don't care. Like, I don't care what neither do we. We don't care about anybody the way anybody does anything in their life. However, this isn't just anybody, right? This is the fucking prime minister.
Prime minister.
Yeah. And why would anyone care if Gerald Butts gave him a bro job one day? Who cares, right? Like, they're all adults. It probably didn't happen, but it could. I have to go. This is 5 minutes too long.
James D. Fiore at Blackball Media is where you can find him, blackballmedia.ca, or at James D. Fiore on Twitter. Appreciate your brother. Lachlan
By the
Cross,
way, I won the pool. I
FM.
did say that James would be the one that slipped up and said it out loud. So thank you.
I didn't realize that
you guys owe me a case of beer.
You don't remember the 5 minutes before we went on where I specifically said don't allude to it?
I was blinded by rage when I first came on because of the fight I had with my wife. So,
no way.
Oh, so it's been a theme in your day.
Yeah. Fuck you, honey. All right. See you later.
That's good. There you go. Yeah. I knew that was the deal. That's usually always the deal. Whenever he comes in and he gets hot with you, and then I go, hey, relax. And he's like, you're always taking his side. I'm like, someone got in a fight with his wife.
Well, I'm just glad he quit drinking.
And by the way, that's 100% better than a year ago.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I can't imagine.
He's made moves. I like the fact that he's who he is.
He's still as dysfunctional as fuck, and that's coming from a guy that's dysfunctional as fuck. Right?
We all are.
I don't even know if I can compete with him in that canoe. Like, if we're in the dysfunctional Olympics, James is fucking on that podium every time, and I might be outside looking in.
You know what I was? Do you know when I was pretty quiet in the middle of the podcast? Do you know what I was doing? I was counting. This is not good. How many times he interrupted you?
Well, the thing is, he is right.
Number 46.
He is right in that we do gang up on him. And that's something that we should be aware of, because that's our fault.
I know. Well, I like it.
I pick on people like that are oversensitive, and I'll turn on them, and I get a certain amount of satisfaction out of seeing how far I can go before they snap. Okay, and I know that's wrong, but I don't have a lot of things in my life. Like I had fucking Arby's again today. I mean, that's the full day. Like, go to work, deal with a midget, have Arby's, come home, do this fucking podcast. That's my life, right?
Yeah, I know. Me
Drink
too.
in the basement.
Yep.
Until 9 o'clock.
Sounds awesome.
Go to bed. Yeah.
No. Sounds like a great life.
I gotta find joy in the little small things. It's the little things.
Yeah, I do too. Right. What sometimes James seems to forget is that we're actually on his side. You know, and
he does forget that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think he what happens is he's like, fuck, I just had a bad morning with the wife. I'm fighting everyone today. I'm going to fight you. And then halfway through, and he always comes around. That's the fucking crazy part about him, which I love, is that he'll blow his wad. And then 20 minutes later, he'll go, I did it again.
Well,
and then he acts normal and he apologizes in his own weird way.
Yeah, in his own little way, and that's fine. And we're getting used to it. But the other thing that I hope stops is the hour-long conversations after the podcast.
Oh, the tweets? Like the direct messages, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I'm kidding, James, because I know he's watching.
He got mad at me today because he's like, you didn't return any of my texts. I'm like, I'm busy. I'm busy, dude. He just loves it. Oh, did he text
said
you right
I
now?
didn't. No, he's saying I didn't return his text. I'm pretty sure I do.
Oh, yeah. No, that's just what he says.
All right.
That's just his thing, right? You didn't do this for me. You didn't do that for me. Yeah.
All right.
He'll get there. Fuck. I hope. It's not for me to decide. Thanks for doing this, dude. Great to see you.
Yeah, it was a good one. Are we on tomorrow? I'm going to have trouble making it on time if we are. Okay.
No, we're not.
All right. I'll tell you next week, but I'm manning a margarita booth at one of my daughter's 42 engagement celebration parties that I'll be having in the next 2 years. So wish me luck.
This weekend? Are you doing it this weekend? Oh, good.
Yeah, Friday.
I want a full report Monday. I want to see if like margaritas are the kind that you can get real drunk on real quick.
Yeah.
And when you throw up, it is very acidic. So I'm looking forward to that throw up conversation again.
Well, I got that. Then I got that party in Calgary. And then I got the Our Lady Peace show. And Bonzi's coming, right? So we have to make sure we keep him off the booze.
Stoney says Locke will be shit-faced.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's part of the plan for the weekend.
All right. Well, listen,
all right,
dude,
guys.
have a great one. I'll see you Monday.
Good to see you, Dean. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. No problem. That's Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him. Ba-ba. What do you do? Thanks to everybody for being part of the podcast and watching. Emily, Make a Cheese Whiz, MB, Jameis, Emily, Tara, Wade. I can't. I'll try to get to. I can't. There's no way. APOC, Greg, Christy, Sean, everybody. Thank you. And you can get us at deanblundell.com. That's where you can find everybody that does everything, and that's where we live. Sign up for a newsletter there as well. Thanks to our sponsors and partners, including Ed's Fine Imports and his Gitch. You can get his Gitch now. It's luxury underwear, boxer briefs, pouch to the front. You can't miss. And he'll send you 4 pair for the price of 3 when you go to edsfineimports.com and you pump in that promo code Gitch, and then the number 3. You get luxury underwear sent to you. Canadian made. That's his own brand. You're supporting a good dude. Do it. edsfineimports.com. Domination is what we use to produce content. You can do the same thing. Makes it super easy, as a matter of fact. Go to dmntn.com. Try them for free today. Artificial intelligence that helps you produce content in minutes instead of hours. No brainer. dmntn.com. Our friends over at Easy Auto Financial make it easy for you to get in a car as well. These are good people, and they take care of your financing like this, and they don't want any money for it. So they just want to hook you up with a car and the car that you need. Easy Auto Financial deals in subprime, which means if your credit's crap, they got you covered. Turnkey stuff over at Easy Auto Financial. If you're looking for a vehicle and financing, that opportunity to go and get a car and really have to do very little work at all, which is kind of the deal, right? Like, we're in that society now where it's like, hey, if you can help me cut the line in buying a car, that'd be great. That's what they do. Go to easyautofinancial.ca today. And our friends over at Blue Microphones, go to bluemic.com or Blue Microphones on Twitter. They're a Logitech group of companies. We use all their gear. Every single one of our podcasts in the network, now 70 podcasts in the network, uses Blue microphones, Blue equipment, including these MoFi headphones, Blue Yeti X microphones. See their entire lineup. Just go to bluemic.com for more information today. Thanks, everybody, for being part of the show. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you Monday. Bye.